New into stock we have a Jeep Wrangler 2.8 CRD Sahara Unlimited. It's four-wheel drive, 2009 on a 09 plate. It says here it's a standard truck with low miles, only done 55,670 miles. Fuel economy, urban is 21.7, extra urban 33.2, and combined is 28.2. 0 to 60 time of 11.7 seconds, top speed of 107 miles per hour out of 174 brake horsepower, 16 valve engine. 6 month road tax, £313.50, and 12 months is 570, and the car's got an MOT until the 11th of the 7th 2020. It's quite an interesting car, I've got to say. Good looking thing, and some of these a chap called Afsol Khan converts them to Chelsea trucks, and they're £70,000, so there's plenty of scope if you just want to buy a basic car and then put a few additions on yourself. But apart from that, just running around in it, it's a fantastic car. I had a 4 litre one quite a while ago when I worked for Chrysler. I'll tell you a bit about that in a short while. But in the meantime, everything's really well made, really sturdy. Looks like it's easy to replace if it ever wears out, and it doesn't look like it's going to wear out. So fashioned on the old Jeeps, the old military Jeeps. Nice big bumper there. We've got 5-spoke alloys, the Wrangler Unlimited badge on the side here. In the top here there's 2 panels which lift out from the inside. You unscrew the back and then there's a couple of little catches to take out. They're quite heavy, takes about 5 minutes, and then the whole roof is missing from the front over the driver and the passenger. It's really nice on a summer's day, I've got to say, and as I say, I have done that before. We've got rear privacy glass, we've got a side step, a side bar, protector, whatever you want to call it, and then the car's shod with Bridgestone Duellers, good tread on all the tyres. It's a really good thing, especially if you like off-road vehicles. It just looks like it's going to last forever, this. I'll show you in the back. Now, if there's one thing that could get on your nerves, it's this back door. Obviously, with having the spare wheel on there, it's it's not heavy. However, there doesn't seem to be a catch here to hold it in place. So it's heavy. If you were bending down, it crack you on the back of the head. So you need to be careful with that. Perhaps just manufacture some sort of wedge to hold it open. And you've also got this that hinges up like so. So plenty of room in there. Nice and handy for a dog, I would say. Fairly easy for it to jump into it, and plenty of room for it to look round. Crash bars over the top there. This is kind of the roof is kind of composite. So you've got a crash bar or rollover bar over the driver and one over the back there. So, and now it's raining. Shut the window first, and the self-closing back door. I'll just show you in the back. It's a bit of a hike up on the roof bar there is fairly low, so you've got to bend to get in as well. But apart from that, that's where I would normally have my seat. Plenty of leg room. The seat back's nice and high. It's relatively clean in the back. This is just as it's come in. Our detail advance isn't very well at the moment, so he's off. We're just getting a bit behind with the cleaning and so on. Hence, I'm videoing this and photographing it when it's just come in. But when he's finished with it, it will be absolutely like new. It is a lovely vehicle. I have to say it's easier getting in than out, but if it's kids in the back, they'll just hop on this sidebar there and jump in. I'll just take you for a ride in it. 2 keys, 2 remotes, proper ignition lock. Put your foot on the clutch before you turn the key, and then the vehicle will start. As I say, it's a really nice, different, interesting car. Be a great second car for somebody. Fantastic towing vehicle, off-road and so on. And just something that you can get. You can live out in the sticks, and you can get anywhere on the road, and probably on your fields, on your farm as well. Now, there's a speech on the internet and a book by Admiral William McRaven, and it's called Make Your Bed. If you want to change the world, start by making your bed in the morning. And then he goes on to say you'll get a small sense of accomplishment, and that'll encourage you to go on to the next task, and the next, and the next. And if you have a really, really bad day, you come home and at least your bed's made. Now, I know what you're thinking, Baz, like, we haven't got all day, where are you going with this? We want to see the Jeep going. But I could do a lot more videos if I didn't have to keep chasing service history. And it's astonishes me that such a little thing in a main dealer, they spend millions and millions of pounds on main dealerships, loads of equipment, and then they put some numbskull on the service desk. And I say this all the time, but honestly, places I've worked in the past, I've had more arguments with them than I don't know what. And millions and millions and millions of pounds must be wiped off the value of cars during the day just by going and getting it serviced at the wrong place. No service stamps. This vehicle, it's got a service history. Fortunately, we've got all the invoices, or we've got the invoices, but no stamps in the book. Not a one from main dealers. And you know, if you want to change the world, make your bed. I suppose in the interview, next time you're interviewing a service receptionist, ask them if they make the bed in the morning. If they say no, fire them off up the road, because they're never going to be any good. And you know, people like me are going to end up doing their job for them that should have been done years ago, and it will just continue. Anyway, don't forget, make your bed. I'll take you for a ride in this. And the other thing is, let's just get going. I've worked for many main dealers, including a Chrysler dealer, a Jeep dealer, and one thing I've learned is that there's 3 people you should make friends with immediately. The sales administrator, who is usually a young lady and has more power than the dealer principal, and probably runs the place unbeknown to the dealer principal. Then the best mechanic, you should always make friends with them, because they'll save you hours and lots of aggravation with your customers. And the other person you should make friends with is the person where you get your fuel. When I went to a garage called Hatfields, and they were Jeep dealers, and it was a great garage run by great people, with great people actually in the garage too, a great staff, all of them, fantastic outlook. We had a real good time. Unfortunately, the day I got my new demonstrator, which was a Chrysler, a Jeep Wrangler 4-litre petrol, there was a tanker strike and petrol rationing, and you could only get, I think it was £6. You were limited to £6 worth of fuel, and it was my weekend off. Just got my new demonstrator, and of course the first thing you want to do in your new car is go for a nice drive. And in that particular case, you could have the doors off and the roof panels out. It was like G.I. Joe. Anyway, so fortunately I had made friends with a young lady on the at the fuel station, and she let me fill my Chrysler Jeep up right to the top, which was great. So my weekend off. Unfortunately, there was another lad there called Graham, another salesman, and Graham had booked said he'd booked a demonstration in for the weekend in my Jeep 4 litre, which meant he got to go home in my car with a full tank of fuel, and I got to go home in his shitty Chrysler Neon. So, but I did get him back on several occasions for that. And anyway, sorry, back to the car. So it's kind of Defender style driving, probably better than Defender, really, the older Defender anyway, but a lot less money. We've done our research on these. There seems to be a good market out there for them, and to be fair, within 10 minutes of us putting it on the internet, we had an inquiry on it. So I'm thinking it won't be with us long, but I've been wrong before. It's quite a good spec. You've got electric front and rear windows. I think the electric rear windows only operate from the front here, so if you have kids they can't mess about with them, that's handy. Everything about it is really, really sturdy. Bonnet catches with rubbers holding them on and so on. As I say, these panels here, there's little kind of catches. There's a catch at the front, and then there's a safety catch here. You have to unscrew these. There's two screws at the back, and they seem, to be fair, they seem to go on for ages. I think that's probably a little bit of overkill on Jeep's part, but you wouldn't want them flying off on the motorway. So you've got a CD radio, and we've got cruise control here on the right hand side of the steering wheel. Steering wheel's all good, you can see everything. Nice view of the dash, nice view of the switch gear on the side here with your cruise control. It's not that fast to 60, 11.7 seconds, but to be fair, it's fast enough. I'm going to take you down the motorway. So it's a nice driving position. Steering's good tyres on this. There's something to hold on to there when you're off-road. And the doors, the check straps. One of the things I said about the back door, there's nothing to hold it open. It's the same with all the doors. They're actually on a strap, like a canvas strap, not a metal check strap which locks into place. But again, not too much of a problem really. Got air conditioning there, switch there. But all this panel from here to there all lifts off. And it's a really good fun vehicle, I suppose. Certainly be good for going off-roading or razzing around on Southport Beach. Sports seats as well. There's side steps and side protection bars, I suppose. Not too much to go wrong. I've not tried the radio yet, actually. They're usually really good. Well, that's reasonably good. What we're doing, let's see, it is 6 speed. Let's see if we can get up to 70. There's a van coming up the outside there. We're nearly at 70 there. So cruise there, set is down. There we go, 70 miles an hour, 2000 revs, 6 gear, reasonably quiet. When you bear in mind this front screen is flat, looks like you could just, if you smashed it, you could just put a pane of glass or a pane of perspex right across it and it would fit perfectly. Flat side windows, up and down, like the Defender. Headlights on the indicator store here on the left hand side, and wipers on the right. Front there, let's just squirt. They're working great. What about rear wiper? Yeah, rear wiper squirt, and that's working all right. Not sure why there'd be two bobbies the side of the road there with no sign of the car. Must have broken down somewhere, or I missed it. I think the number plate on the back of that caravan might be slightly illegal and not to government specifications. So there's your aircon. You just need to switch it on. There you go. Only works when the fan's on. Hot and cold and direction there. Got ESP, two power sockets, your high and low for your four-wheel drive. Cup holders here. Front center armrest. That looks like it opens up. Whether there's a lock on it. And here you can lock all the doors from one switch. The traffic officer's spoiling my route. Transporter's not hanging about there. Going too fast. So it may be a bit of a plodder this, but you can still go too fast in it. The back seats fold down as well. Got a proper kind of swan or gooseneck tow bar on the back. All the steering's fine. Although you have to remember it is a bit wider than than you think it is in the cabin. If you look in the mirrors here, it's a bit, well, not exactly like a Porsche Turbo, but it's got the wheel arches sticking out. Nice to drive. Good gear change, light clutch, plenty of room there as well. I've got my big boots on. big winter boots. Just rear privacy glass, so that can't take them down too far. Yeah, everything works. So I'll just finish the test drive there anyway.